Welcome to another relaxing video. Today we continue our journey through Greek mythology, exploring the story of Prometheus, his role in the creation of humanity, how humankind received the gift of fire, and how pain, grief, and sorrow eventually spread among men. Before we begin, if you enjoy my videos, please consider liking, subscribing, sharing the video, or using the hype feature. Any of that would really help my channel. And now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the tale of Prometheus. Prometheus was the son of the Titan Iapetus and the oceanic nymph Clymene. He had 3 brothers, Atlas, Menetius, and Epimetheus. Of these, only Epimetheus will play a part in today's story. As a small digression, Atlas, as you may know, was condemned to hold up the heavens for all eternity. He would later appear in the legends of both Heracles and Perseus. But let's return to Prometheus. The name Prometheus means forethought, while Epimetheus means afterthought. Prometheus, therefore, symbolizes wisdom and careful planning, whereas his brother represents impulsiveness and lack of foresight. In the beginning, the gods and titans shaped the world. The firmament, the mountains, the rivers, and the trees. Then they entrusted Prometheus and Epimetheus with a sacred duty to populate the earth. Epimetheus, acting first and without much thought, created the animals. But Prometheus felt that something was still missing. A being capable of admiring this beauty, of understanding it, and of wondering at the marvel of creation. And so he decided to fill that void with a creation of his own. In a quiet place near a riverbank, Prometheus gathered clay and began to shape it. He molded a being with a head to gaze at the world's beauty, limbs to move freely, hands to work and build, and a face to express joy and sorrow. Thus he created man. But at that moment, mankind merely existed, not yet alive in the way we understand life. Prometheus realized that for his creation to survive, they would need knowledge. His brother, acting hastily as always, had already given all the survival traits to the animals: speed, claws, fangs, strength, thick fur, and other defenses. Nothing was left for humankind. So Prometheus became their teacher. He taught men how to speak and write, how to gather food and build shelter, how to weave fabrics and protect themselves from the cold. He showed them how to look to the stars and track the passing of seasons, how to measure time, how to shape wood and stone, and how to sail across rivers and seas. He shared with them the principles of mathematics, medicine, and even the idea of justice. For this reason, Prometheus is remembered as the benefactor of humankind, the bringer of knowledge, arts, and science. And yet, despite all this wisdom, mankind remained fragile. They could not command the winds or cool down the lightning. Cold and darkness still terrified them. To build, to cook, to survive through the night, they needed one final sacred element: fire. But fire belonged only to the gods. It was a divine symbol guarded by Zeus himself. It was the boundary between Olympus and Earth. Prometheus knew all this, and yet he also knew that everything he had taught humanity would remain fragile and uncertain without fire. Night would still swallow their courage. Raw meat would bring sickness. Metal would remain buried in the ground as useless ore. Without fire, mankind's progress would flicker like a candle in the wind, always at the mercy of the dark. Prometheus understood that with fire, thought itself could be shaped, that knowledge could become invention, and invention could outlive a single lifetime. But Zeus kept this sacred flame locked away, hidden on Olympus, as a treasure reserved for the divine. And so Prometheus decided to act. One silent night, while the gods slept, Prometheus climbed Mount Olympus in secret. There he took a hollow reed, and within it he captured a small spark, a living flame, and carried down to the earth. When he showed humankind the magic of fire, the world changed forever. With it, men learned to forge tools, to cook food, to chase away the cold and illuminate the darkness. Crafts multiplied, and knowledge began to pass from one generation to the next. Humankind flourished. Their minds awakened, their spirits grew bold. But high above, from his throne on Olympus, Zeus looked down and saw the light spreading across the earth. He immediately understood what had happened. A sacred boundary had been crossed. Prometheus had acted without divine right, breaking the distance between gods and mortals, a distance that kept the world in balance. To Zeus, this was an intolerable act of defiance. And so a punishment would follow, one so harsh that it would serve as a warning to gods and mortals alike. Before we move to that punishment, though, there exists another version of this tale. In this telling, mankind had already possessed fire. But Zeus, angered by an earlier deceit, took it away from them as an act of vengeance. The event that sparked this divine resentment took place during a dispute over how sacrifices should be divided between gods and humans. To settle the matter, a meeting was held at Mython. Prometheus was present, of course, ever the protector of humankind, and there he decided to play a clever trick on Zeus. He took a great ox, sacrificed it, and divided its remains into two piles. In the first pile he placed all the meat and fat, but covered it with the animal's stomach, something unpleasant and unappealing to the eye, concealing something far more appealing. In the second pile he placed only bones, but covered them with shining fat, making the heap gleam as though it were rich and desirable. Then he invited Zeus to choose which pile he preferred as the offering for the gods. The king of the gods, deceived by appearance, or perhaps pretending to be, chose the pile of bones. From that moment on, the tradition was set. The bones would be burned for the gods, while the meat and fat would be kept for humankind. Realizing he had been tricked, Zeus's wrath ignited like a storm. In his anger, he took fire away from the earth, leaving mankind cold, hungry, and trembling in darkness once more. But Prometheus, moved by pity and defiance, stole the fire, hiding its spark within a hollow reed, and returning it to humankind. Some say Zeus was truly fooled by the trick. Others believe he only pretended to be deceived, using it as an excuse to punish both Prometheus and humanity, to remind them that no mortal or titan could defy his will without consequences. Either way, the balance had been broken, and the time for retribution had come. Prometheus knew that a punishment would inevitably follow his act of defiance, yet he accepted it with calm resolve. To him, the progress of humankind, their awakening and survival, mattered far more than his own safety. He did not regret his choices. In his boundless foresight, Prometheus also understood that Zeus's anger would not be directed at him alone, that humanity itself would suffer as well. And so, out of love and concern, he warned his brother Epimetheus, "Do not accept any gift from Zeus, no matter how generous it may seem," he told him. He hoped this single warning might shield mankind from the gods' retribution. Zeus's vengeance was of divine magnitude. His fury echoed through the heavens like thunder over the mountains. He ordered Hephaestus, god of fire and forge, to craft unbreakable chains and to bind Prometheus upon a remote peak where icy winds cut through the clouds. There Prometheus was fastened against a rock, helpless but unbowed. Then Zeus sent an eagle, a monstrous creature, to descend upon him each day. It tore open his side and feasted on his liver, the seat of life itself. Each night the wound would heal, and his liver would grow anew, only for the eagle to return at dawn, beginning the torment again. And so the cycle continued, day after day, century after century, through endless time. Yet, even through the agony, Prometheus never begged for mercy. His defiance burned as eternal as the fire he had given to men. In the end, his suffering did not last forever. Many ages later, the hero Heracles, with Zeus's permission, slew the eagle with his bow and shattered the chains that bound the Titan. Prometheus was finally freed. But the story of vengeance did not end there. Zeus's anger turned next toward mankind, and what he devised for them was, in many ways, an even crueler punishment. It was not a flood or a storm, nor the withdrawal of sunlight, but something far more subtle, woven into human life itself. He commanded the gods to create a new being, the first woman, who would be named Pandora. One by one, each god bestowed a gift upon her. From Aphrodite, beauty and grace. From Hermes, a charming voice and a curious mind. From Athena, skill and wit. From the Graces, allure and the art of delight. From Hephaestus, a flawless form and the spark of craftsmanship. And so Pandora was shaped into something radiant, a living masterpiece, beautiful beyond compare, and filled with a lively, questioning spirit. When she was complete, she was sent down to earth as a gift to Epimetheus, who, alas, had either forgotten his brother's warning or chose to ignore it. Pandora did not come alone. In her hands she carried a sealed jar, a vessel given to her by Zeus with one simple instruction: do not open it, no matter what curiosity stirs within you. Yet, curiosity, as the gods well knew, is a powerful force, and the presence of Pandora among men changed the rhythm of their lives in ways no storm ever could. With her came affection and desire, but also jealousy and conflict. Bonds of love grew deeper, but so too did pain when those bonds were broken. She brought warmth and companionship, but also longing and loss. Through her, humankind learned what it meant to feel profoundly, to laugh, to dream, to grieve. Life became richer, brighter, and infinitely more fragile. Day after day, Pandora went about her life. The jar remained where she had first placed it, in a quiet corner, half forgotten, gathering dust. She would glance at it from time to time, wipe it clean, and remind herself of the warning: never open it. Yet, as the day passed, a small flame began to stir within her, the flame of curiosity. It whispered to her in moments of silence, in the stillness of the night. What could possibly be inside? A blessing, a secret meant for her alone. The thought took root and grew and grew, until one day she could resist it no longer. With trembling hands, Pandora loosened the binding and lifted the lid. And in an instant, before she could even gasp, everything inside burst out, too swift and too powerful to be stopped. The air filled with shadows and whispers. A great swarm of unseen shapes poured forth, spreading in every direction. From the jar came disease, toil, old age, grief, despair, all the hidden sorrows that would haunt humankind forever. The bright world darkened. Children cried, men fell ill, hearts broke, and laughter turned to silence. Pandora tried desperately to close the jar, but the storm of suffering rushed past her hands. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, she managed to seal it shut again. And then she heard it, a faint sound from within. It was not the hiss of disease, nor the moan of despair. It was something softer, lighter, like the delicate flutter of wings. Slowly, she opened the jar once more, and from it emerged hope. It was small and bright, a warm glow against the darkness, and, unlike the others, it did not flee. Hope lingered, floating gently in the air, as if waiting to be found. It did not speak, yet all who saw it felt its presence deep within their hearts. From that day forward, the world was changed forever. Men and women labored beneath the weight of sorrow. They aged, they struggled, they mourned. But amid their tears and weariness, they found something new, the quiet strength to begin again. Hope did not erase pain, it gave it meaning. It did not remove grief, it gave people the courage to endure it. It became the invisible thread that helped humankind rise each morning to work, to build, to dream, even in the face of despair. Some say Pandora was the cause of all mortal suffering, the one who unleashed misery upon the world. But perhaps her act was not a curse, but a reflection of what it means to be human. For we are creatures of curiosity, of error, of longing. We open forbidden doors, we make mistakes, and yet, from those very mistakes, something enduring is born. The light of hope, fragile but eternal. Pandora released the sorrows, yes, but she also gave us the strength to rise after every fall, to rebuild after every loss, and to keep walking forward through the endless night. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the tale of Prometheus. Please consider supporting my channel by liking, subscribing, sharing the video, or using the hype feature. I'd like to thank all my supporters on on coffee, and channel members too. And if you want to support me as well, you will find all the useful links and information in the description. And until next time, take care and stay relaxed. Bye bye.